Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. A Six of Wands. This is a card of victory. This is someone who is accomplishing their goals. I feel like this is a time in your life where you're going to start to feel as if your struggles have been worth it, right? That things are paying off. That things are finally like behind you now. Okay, and I think that's a very relieving feeling. It's like it's a strong, powerful moment, right? When we realize that, hey, okay, some stuff is ending. Yeah, that some things in my life are now in the rearview mirror, and of course, there's more stuff coming in front of us, right? We know the six is not the end of the tarot cards and the suit of wands, but you're somebody who is trying to focus on the positive things, trying to focus on the wins. Yeah, that's what this card is. It's a win, right? It's not the biggest win to end all wins, right? I don't know if that sort of thing really exists. I feel like we focus on the progress that we're making. This is victory after struggle, after strife, right? And there are a lot of ways to win the battle, okay? Whether this is something that we walked away from, this is something that we advocated for, and we got it. It happened as a result of our, putting our effort into it, okay? I think you're somebody that, right now, you work pretty well with others. I know it's not usually your method, right? You kind of are, you like to do things your own way. I think you're an individual, right? But I think at the moment, it would benefit you greatly to think about the team that you have around you, whether in your personal life, professional life, whatever it is, right? I don't care how old you are. You could be a teenager. You could be 200 years old. The idea is that we have people around us that are also kind of maybe indirectly contributing to our success. And now the Six of Wands is somebody that will cross the finish line, but we'll turn around and start helping other people over the finish line too. Start cheering everybody else on. You get to the top of the mountain, then you go back down to start grabbing people and kind of helping them along the way too. And I think, really realizing that we're not an island. We're not existing in a vacuum. Okay. So I think there are other people in your life that are very important to you, and that we are kind of choosing to recognize. It's kind of like there's no I in team sort of thing, right? Well, let's see where this is going. Yeah, let's use some context. We need some more cards on the table. We've got a 10 of Wands. Yeah, the team is going to be very important going forward. Here we have, obviously, the Hermit energy. A kind of natural instinct in you is to just sort of do your own thing, go your own way, and not focus so much on the connections. But I think connections are very important now, especially with that 10 of Wands here. And the Tower, of course, in the past, something has ended, something quite significant, something life-changing, right, has happened to you, and you're starting to feel the resolution of it, right? This was a big challenge that started, and now you're starting to see it winding down. The Tower, like the dust is settling, right? And going forward, I feel like there's going to be obviously more work to do. It's important that we make sure that we are we're connected with the right people. There we have the Queen of Cups, and we got a double shot here. We got the High Priestess and the Princess of Cups, right? Trusting our intuition, but realizing that those intuitive hits, those intuitive nudges might come through your heart, right? Might come through your desire for those kinds of connections, right? So we might realize that we really do want to get in touch with, we might want to really feel the connection with other people, okay? And I think we're going to realize that it feels good to gratitude, to show gratitude, right? To be filled with love and compassion and a sense of camaraderie, a sense of like we're all in this together, you know? I think we're really going to find that it feels quite nice to be connected with other people, right? Which is a big contrast with our Hermit energy. Over here, we've got the Seven of Wands and Ace of Swords, the Eon, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening, okay? And the Seven of Pentacles. So, fire and earth on this side, right? We've got the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles, fire and earth. It's kind of like saying the work isn't over yet. Okay, and so there's still more that we're battling. There's still more that we are advocating for. There's still more you want to do in life. You know, this isn't the end of the road for you. But this is, I think, a really important time for you to recognize how far you've come, recognize the wins, recognize the accomplishments, and sort of use it as an opportunity to reconnect with your people. Again, whether personal life, professional life, it doesn't matter, all of the above. And, strengthen the bonds with those people, because there's going to be more work to do. Yeah. As we struggle against something further, we realize that it is in those connections. It's kind of like with the Ace of Swords, where we're almost like sharing a common mission with others. You know, I think we really are finding relationships that are supporting our goals, and that we're kind of, we're under a unity here. There's a clarity about this, and I think that you're finding connections with people that generally want the same things you want. Now, maybe it's not directly the same exact thing, and you're running the same race together, but I feel like a kind of a common, there's a commonality with your people, right? There's something that connects you with everybody else in your life. And I think it's important we focus on that and strengthen that, okay? Because that's going to be a big factor in what's coming next for you. But let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. Now, if you have a prediction for that card, put that down in the comments. Okay. Let's take a look around the room. We see some majors, of course. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana energies. We have a lot of fire. We've got some water. A little bit of air, the best air we could ask for, right, with the Ace of Swords. And then we've got our earth energy at the end. So this feels like maybe this was a breakthrough, right? Maybe this was a challenge. Maybe this was just simply a crisis in life, okay? It was an exclamation point. And now it's led to you, I think, finding some connections with people, it's through this that we really were able to, people that go through something like this together, they form a pretty tight bond, And I think that we're learning how to lean on our people a little bit with this 10, the 10 of Wands. The 6 and the 10 of Wands, I think, is kind of showing that we have a team, we have a group of people around us that can help us share the load, that can help us with the burdens of life right now. Maybe it's the aftermath of that tower event, okay? The really difficult period of time in your life, and now we're kind of focusing on the bonds that it's helping us to create. So in a way, something good is coming from that tower event. And towers are always disruptive. Okay, they always shake us to our foundations. Maybe it's a loss of a job, maybe it's, something even more serious than that. They shake us to our core. Okay, but tower moments are usually in our best interest, though it's not very clear why or how that's going to be true. Okay, but by focusing on how this has brought you closer with your neighbors, closer with your family, closer with your friends or your coworkers, I think is helping us to feel a little bit of love and feel some kind of benefit from this tower event. Okay, and with the Ten of Wands, there's the idea of the responsibility that we're carrying all this weight, and sometimes we're in this tower event, and we feel with the Ten of Wands we feel alone, right? We feel as if we're thrust into this situation, and there's nothing we can really do to fix it. It's just we're suffering out here. I mean, the Ten of Wands it's kind of like we're burdened with all the weight on our shoulders, and nobody is around to help us carry that weight. And that's a terrible feeling, okay? But the Six of Wands included in that equation is saying, no, there are people around, and you'll be very surprised. And I think we need to recognize, first of all, we need to acknowledge and appreciate the people that sort of come to our side when we're going through something. Okay, we could focus on the people that didn't. We could focus on the people that weren't going to come to our side and basically turn their backs on us when we needed, when we were in a tower moment. But what we can choose instead is to focus on those people that did show up for us, and then realizing, of course, that we're going to show up for them too. Okay, so there's a bond that's being developed here. Under the surface, you've got your hermit energy. And this is a natural inclination. It's kind of like, I don't expect anybody to show up for me. I'm kind of going my own way, and when something happens, well, it's my responsibility to fix it, to solve it, to endure, to take care of it, whatever, right? And so the hermit is going through life, and then when there is a tower moment, the hermit is just bearing that burden all by itself. And that seems to be the kind of almost the default mode, right? Kind of the lone mountain goat, Up above the surface, the Queen of Cups. If we lift the veil of our emotions, I think you're somebody who's becoming more and more in touch with your emotions. I feel like you're trying to be like very honest about how you feel and what you want in life. And this, I think, it's opposed to the hermit in a way, because the hermit is saying, I don't need anything. This is the Steve Martin and the jerk kind of energy. I don't need anything. All I need is this ashtray and this telephone and this lamp. I don't need anything. The Queen of Cups, of course, is kind of able to feel those feelings, able to admit to themselves, you don't have to say this to anybody else, but to admit, like, you know what, I do need things. I do need people. I do want friends. I do want love. I do want passion. I do want support from others. I do want to feel as if when I go through a difficult situation that there's somebody there to, just to lean on, or somebody just to be present with. Somebody just to sit with me through the thing. Okay. And I think when we go through a tower event, we very often see who our friends are and are not. If we're focused on who are not our friends in a tower moment, we're kind of missing the point there, right? Let's focus on those people who are. The people that aren't, they don't matter. They're not your people anyway. But I think the Queen of Cups is a very important factor here. It's up above the surface. It's something that you're starting to realize. It's something that's been on your mind, I feel. That you do want certain things, and that you need certain things. And it's not just about having friends or having support or having, tighter bonds with people, but maybe this is saying that, we want somebody to notice what we've been through and notice our success. Maybe we want a little bit of recognition. Okay. Maybe we want to share this win with someone. Okay. This is a confidence. The Six of Wands is kind of like, we feel like we've done a great job at something. Like, I had a tower event and look at now, I'm golden. But we look around and we think, who can I tell? Who can I share it with? Who is going to be here to celebrate my wins with me? A lot of people will come to your aid when you are in the tower moment, right? Because they want to feel that they can help you, and it's a weird dynamic there too, right? But who comes and celebrates your wins with you? That's maybe the bigger question here. Not who is supporting you when you're struggling, but who is sticking around for the celebration at the end to say, hey, you did a good job, and I'm proud of you, And simple things too, It's kind of we in a way we don't have anyone to impress. We're on this path by ourselves. We don't have to look for outside validation. That's not what this is about. This is more, I think, for you with the water energy that we see. This is more about you having someone to really celebrate with. Okay. This is about you, having somebody there that you can share these wins with. It's not for validation. It's not like, if a tree falls in the woods but nobody's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound, right? So it's kind of like you have this big 6 of wands win. Does it mean anything if nobody's there to witness it? Does it mean anything if your name's not in the newspaper or you don't get the award, you don't get the recognition? Well, of course it does, right? It means something to you. And that's a positive side of this Hermit card. But nevertheless, I think we're realizing that it would be a little bit more pleasurable, it would be a little bit more fun to share this with other people. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where your intuition is guiding you right now. We have this this moon card. It's the High Priestess, but it's a full moon card. Right? It's a full moon card. And it's sort of asking us to kind of to take it all in the moment, to realize where we are and what's going on right now in this moment. Not thinking about the future, because we think about the future and then what do we get? Well, we're already anticipating the next struggle, right? So this is kind of saying, let's stay in the moment and let's enjoy the moment. Let's share the moment with friends, family, whoever's around us, whoever's in our life, because there is going to be more challenges ahead, right? I feel as if you're going to be very relieved to have come out on top in this tower situation. When every time there's a tower, we always kind of think it's going to be the worst, right? But I feel like you are really, you're going to win in this situation. This is going to be a big one. Okay. And it's important that we appreciate that, and we feel the pride. We feel the confidence that's being built up through this situation. Because now it kind of feels like you've got the strength, you got the capacity to face all the challenges of life. And I think it's going to be a lot more pleasurable, a lot more fun to face it with other people. Maybe it's with your person or your friends, family, to kind of look at it as a team effort. Okay. The High Priestess is also about your dreams. Follow those inner symbols, okay? Those dreams and visions of yours, that's your roadmap, okay? And I think that's going to come through kind of listening to your emotions a little bit. What is it that you desire? The Princess of Cups is out there having dreams, having desires, wants certain things, and it's kind of like directly from water to earth, directly from emotion to behavior. That we're kind of acting on our feelings. And it's sort of impulsive, right? All the princesses tend to be a little impulsive. Because I feel something, I want something. Oh, I want a bowl of ice cream, I'm going to go have it right now. No thought involved. You feel it, you desire it, you go get it. Okay? And I think your intuition, spirit, this light from your soul is trying to get you to follow that a little bit. Just listen to it. You don't have to let it rule. You don't have to let the kids drive the car. But you can maybe get their input on where they'd like to go today and what they'd like to do, My daughter, anytime I ask her what she wants to do, she says sushi. She loves sushi, that kid. So it's always, what should we have for dinner? She says sushi. Okay, well, let's think about that, And that's kind of like listening to the Princess of Cups here. We're like, what do we really truly desire? What are our feelings telling us? And how can we use that to be guided in this situation? Okay, I feel like you have a very strong connection with spirit. And, of course, the Hermit does. The Hermit has a very strong connection with that inner light. Okay? And it's time now that we listen to that inner light. We listen to the kind of the heart. And we understand what that information is telling, how it's guiding us. Okay. Because I feel like a win in this case, especially going from a Tower to a Six of Wands. This is a big deal. I know maybe it felt like I was minimizing it at the beginning. This may not be the win to end all wins. You know, it's not the final battle of life, but this is a big one. A Tower event to a Six of Wands, it's a pretty big accomplishment. It's a pretty big, I don't know if you want to call it a recovery, if you want to call it a rebuilding, if you want to just call it a fight, and I won. I came out on top, the biggest challenge of your life, and here you are. Okay. Your biggest challenge of life so far. Yeah. So it's a big deal, and I think that we deserve to feel good about that big deal. And so maybe the High Priestess is telling you, follow your desires a little bit and celebrate however you're kind of inspired to celebrate. Do what feels good right now because you earned this, and there's more battle to be won, you know. So we're not going straight from this Tower moment to the fire energy, to the more fire energy over here, right? Spirit wants you to stop and celebrate it. Stop and feel good about the win. You know, realize, take a pause and look around and see what you've accomplished, and treat yourself in a very loving and positive way, and show appreciation for the people that are around you, that showed up for you, and that are there to celebrate with you. Those are your people, and it's really it's an opportunity to stay in the moment and celebrate this before we move on to the path of the Serpent and we get a Seven of Wands, right? By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Okay. The Seven of Wands is kind of like, in a way we're contrasting it with the Six of Wands, right? Because it's kind of like almost an imposter syndrome feeling. It almost is like, I'm not really that person. I'm not the Six of Wands person. I'm that little stick in the middle here, that it's not like I'm the weakest link, you know? And I think that's a problem, because I think you have a tendency to downplay your achievements. I think you have a tendency, in a way, this is kind of a caution saying like, yeah, celebrate the team, realizing that, you know, there's no I in team and all this, and appreciating and showing gratitude and love for the people that are there for you, but also realizing that you're a part of this, that you're a member of that team. It's not like, oh, I couldn't have done it without you, or I'm nothing without the rest of you. It's not that kind of self-deprecating energy, because there might be a tendency toward that too. Okay. The Seven of Wands is telling me that even in these big accomplishments, even when you get a Six of Wands, you have a tendency to feel like, I didn't do good enough. It wasn't enough. It was the other people that did it. You know, and that's something we feel as a very, very humble person on stage giving a speech. It wasn't me, it was the team, you know. But yet they're the one on stage getting the award, right? So it's like, I couldn't have done it without the team behind me, but I'm just the one getting the recognition. And there's something to that. There's a humility there, sure. But I feel like what's important for you is to realize that, hey, no, you did contribute. You did very important work here, okay? So to acknowledge yourself, too, as well as the others, and feel as if you belong in this group. You belong in this winner's circle kind of thing, okay? The Ace of Swords in the environment in terms of your relationships, I think you are getting a lot of clarity into who is your friend and who is not your friend. Okay? I think that you are getting the insight, the kind of wisdom from above that is kind of almost a revelation. So you're getting a good assessment of who kind of belongs in your life and who maybe you're going to spend less time with. Let's say that. Okay. This card is also about you aligning your thoughts, words, and deeds. Okay, everything is coming down a central pillar here, and it's coming from above, the fire from above coming in, the starlight coming in, and I think you're aligning your thoughts with your inspiration, and then that's sort of translating out into your behavior in the world. So you're realizing that what you think is what your reality will be. So it's kind of like your word is your creation, right? Things were created. First there was the word, yeah. So it seems like you are realizing your power. You're realizing the significance of your thoughts and your word. And the words that you speak to yourself, the words that you speak to others matter. Okay? And I think that you're getting you're getting an important lesson about that. And it's all tied into showing love and appreciation for ourselves and for the other people that are around us, to realize that, just saying something as simple as a thank you, or like a hug, or like, some sort of acknowledgement to others means a lot to them. It means a lot to you. When it comes back in this way, it means a lot to us. And again, it's kind of like I don't need anybody to tell me I did a good job for me to feel like I've succeeded, but it means a lot in terms of the relationship for somebody to recognize us, or for us to recognize somebody else. So we do want a little bit of recognition for what we've accomplished, and we should be just as liberal with offering that to other people in our lives. Okay. Now the Eon card, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening, the baptism by fire. Okay. We don't want any more struggles. Okay. We're not looking for hardships. We're not looking for these kind of life-changing tower moments. Like this is a life-changing thing. The tower moments are moments in life where our path splits off. Our universe, our timeline, like literally splits off into a different direction. It's a major turning point in life. Okay? It's a major deviation from the path we thought we were on. Suddenly there's a 90-degree turn. Okay? And this is kind of, the idea of that, but this is usually not predictable. This is something that we can see, and we can choose to do it or not. So we're not going to choose tower moments. We're not out there looking for trouble just so we can kind of we can succeed and we can win and we can celebrate. So we're kind of like, we're just taking life as it comes. We're not out here looking to constantly be going through these fiery doorways, right? In other words, let's not be too eager to rush toward the next tower moment. Okay. In some ways, I wonder if you're of the mind that, like, your joy here with the Princess of Cups, if this joy or rest has to be earned, and because it feels like we go through this tower, we do our best, we do a good enough job, right? That then we're allowed to take a break, we're allowed to rest, and we're allowed to feel good about that. And I think we're in some ways where it's like we don't want to do that. We're just kind of saying, like, I'm going to put a hold on any big life changes now, because I want to figure out what I really need and what I want in life. Okay, and maybe that's what we should do with these two cards. Maybe we should journal. Maybe every day we should journal, and we should ask ourselves, what do I really want? What do I need? What would feel good to me? What do I really want right now? And let's do that for a time. Let's do that for a period of time and see how that question might change, how the answers might change. What do I really want? What do I really need? What do I want for my life? What do I want in my life? Who do I want in my life? And let's see how that influences us, and see what insights we come up with. Because this is the energy we don't want right now. We don't want to go through another tower event, another fiery experience of life, another big challenge, where we're going to have to be stripped down of our, friends and family. We're going to learn who's not on our team and things like this. We're not so eager to rush into the next the next one. You know, no big life changes right now. I think this happened fast enough. Okay, this was a significant life change. Okay, and I think this tower, I think this happened very fast, and I think it changed your life. We're not really looking for another one yet. We have to figure out how to organize the aftermath of this one first. You know, because maybe this was something now that put you on a different kind of timeline, and we have to sort of recalibrate and say, okay, now what do I really want? Is, you know, how am I going to navigate this? And you know, what does success actually look like, and what do I want it to look like? On the other side of this doorway, we have a Seven of Pentacles. I think right now is not the time for any big time decisions. Right now is the time to kind of debrief from the last big event in your life. And I feel like we're still processing that in a big way, right? So the Seven of Pentacles at the end, this is, you know, if we make a big change in life now, we're sort of missing the point. This is a card of failure. This is a card of like, hey, something didn't grow here. I almost feel like this is the card like saying we didn't learn the lesson. So let's not go through this doorway yet. And maybe this is the idea too, that we're so ready to get out of the pressure cooker. We're so ready for this just to be behind us and to forget about it. Maybe the idea is like, let's not be so quick to do that. I mean, not that we don't want it in the rearview mirror, but we don't want to forget about it so quick. You know, maybe we still need to process this in the emotional way, in terms of our relationships, and in terms of our valuing of ourselves and our confidence. Maybe we still need to process this situation before we completely just shut it down and forget about it and close the book on it altogether, right? If we close the book on it now, I think we're missing the lesson. That makes sense to you? All right, let's look at the mystery card. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. I want maybe like a 6 of Cups, you know. Like that community, that celebration, that compassion, that love, feeling like we're surrounded, feeling like we're just in a big group hug. Yeah. So let's see what we have. The High Priestess again. The High Priestess is trying to show you your best life. Trying to show you the good life, the big rock candy mountain, trying to show you the Empress life, you know. And maybe the idea is it's not always through the next doorway, through the next doorway, through the next doorway. We're in the aftermath of this big tower event. But maybe we're seeing like a little flower growing up through the concrete, you know, and we're thinking, you know what? This tower event made me realize that I could have my best life right now. That I have, you know, that I do have these people in my life. I do have this confidence. I am capable. Like it's almost in a way teaching us to love our life right now as it is. And not feeling like we have to always be going through the next doorway, the next doorway, the next door. It's always through the next challenge that I'll get, you know, the big win to end all wins. Because remember, this is not the last one. This may be the biggest challenge of your life that you have overcame, but it's not the last one. So the High Priestess again is kind of saying, no, there's something here that you need to learn, that you need to realize. And perhaps this card is trying to come in a little bit more clearly and say, you know, this is your paradise here. Like, look at the people that you have around you. Look at what you've just accomplished. Look at who you are. And love that right now as it is, not thinking, well, it's got to be next. It's got to be in the future. It's got to be tomorrow, right? So the High Priestess might be asking us again to kind of step back, look at our life as it is right now, and learn to appreciate it and love it and feel that we are truly blessed. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading as well. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn, Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. This was a bonus reading for you, okay? I feel like there was something that we were needing to kind of slow down and take a look around at things, you know. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.